What's up, my loves and fellow creatives? Let me know if you can hear me. I know we have a little bit of a delay here, but something odd was going on with my YouTube streaming, so I want to make sure that we're all here. What's up, my loves and fellow? All right, so I heard me. um, I think we are ready to go. Let me just get a little confirmation. Awesome, awesome. Hello, Coach Elena. Amy, what's good? Hey, Tiffany. Coach Sharon in the house. What's up, Lakeisha? Coach Chrissy. Hey, hey. We have Carl, Miss Sexy MS. And one of these days, I'm going to memorize the name that goes to your screen name. Hey, Toya. And Julia's Life. Iris, what's good? Lisa. Latanya, Darlena. Oh, and I forgot that was Coach Toya. I got to make sure that I put some respect on them coaches' names. All right, love. So I did my best to make this somewhat simple, but you know, it never goes the simple way. But I know that you all really like the airbrush look, so I'm going to be working on, maybe not in a row, but on a series of airbrush look templates that'll also have the classes that go with them so that you all can have some pretty dynamic looking pieces. Like if you just stuck with one template and you just, were to able to take that on the road or, use that one for quite some time, get really familiar with it. I would like it to be these type of templates because it's not as intimidating as it might look. Mary, okay, I can remember MS. I can remember Mary Sanders. Yes, Mary. And I've been seeing you doing your thing too, and I'm super proud of you. Oh, my bad. Noble is Helena. Finding her way. Remind me what your name is, baby. I think I know I see you all the time. I gotta get the name right. Don't cry though, because I'm gonna get it together. I'm gonna get myself together. All right. So for this class, what we're gonna do is work on changing out some smart objects that pretty much will self-update through this template. So what I want you to understand is that this sort of setup, once it's set up, can be changed out in 5 minutes or less. So some of you are asking for templates that you can very, very easily interchange elements and, pretty much use them for on the spot or on demand type of printing. So I'm going to be working on a lot more of those type of templates because I'm going to be working on an on-demand masterclass as well. And that masterclass will of course include not just designs, but the how-tos that go with that type of setup. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so in this particular case, who is this? I forget whose photo this is. Let me see if I can find it. Libra. So if Libra's with us this evening, or if she's able to view this video, then of course she'll get this template for free. And then I have one more. You all gave me these pictures with 154. So I know that I told y'all I really loved a lot of those photos and I couldn't use them all for one project. So I get to catch up and use a couple of them now. So here we go. I'm going to go to remove BG just to remove the background. I'm going to use this image here. And although I'm using a graduation theme, don't think at all that this has to be a graduation or school related or anything. If you all give me an idea of something else that you'd like to see me change it into, then if I have time, then I'll go ahead and flip that one. All right, we're going to go ahead and download the removed background version. And this one is Amanda Miller. So Amanda, if you happen to be here or watch this at any point in time, make sure you contact Erica Kane in the Innate Creatives Facebook group, and she will make sure that you have free access to the class and template. All right, so that was easy. All right, so the background is already cut out. We're going back into Photoshop. Now what I like to do is I'm keeping all of our changeable elements, or what I'm calling the master files, all up top. So I can take that master, double click on that photo. I'm going to turn off the existing photo. Oh, you know what? Before I do any of this, let me go ahead and export this artwork because it's already done. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to quick export. This is a PNG. And boom, I'm going to call this art-1 because once I change it, I want to be able to export that particular change here. So we can just change out the photo. Again, we'll double click on the photo. I turned off the visibility, I turned off that eyeball for the existing photo. Now let's drag and drop our new photo in there. It would be in my 158 folder, which is what you should be doing with your images that you're using for class. Now, I'm a little more focused on the main part of the image here. So what I'm going to do is fade off the bottom there. Now it will naturally already fade off the bottom here, but I know that this is going to run off the side. So let me go ahead and do my thing. Let's add a layer mask, grab our paintbrush. I'm going to grab a soft brown brush, about 800 pixels is my usual deal. And I'm just going to fade that off so that we're not concerned about that affecting our overall image. When I close out of this, I'm going to hit yes to change. Updates the smart object, and in this case, because we have a little bit of a balance issue, the last image was pushed more to, I forgot to link my layers, and I'm glad I did this, because in order to move that, I need to make certain that my photo images are all linked. So this one's linked to this one. And don't go down this rabbit hole of opening all this stuff. I have it like this for a reason. This file is pretty complicated. However, you changing it is not very complicated. I just want to make sure that everything is linked that is supposed to be linked. All the photo layers. See how this one is not linked to this one? So that's the one that was staying. So I am going to hold Control, select the name of this one, and hit that link button or that chain button down here. And now when I move one, the rest should move. There we go. Now I'm going to show you all something for a later time with this crown. We're going to start working on creating additional elements, like maybe you want a certain part of your image to be rhinestones, maybe you want a certain part of your image to be glitter or suede or foil. I'm going to start showing you all how to do that, and Erica will be available to coach you all on how to do the rhinestone process. So that's something interesting that we're going to get into as well. All right, so now that I have this one centered, I think I'm good here, and I want to see that class of 2021 on that stole there. Looks excellent. Now I want you to keep in mind here, once we kind of develop the rhinestone or the glitter file for the crown, you don't really want to resize that crown because then you'll have to create a whole nother template. In this case, she already has on a beautiful and prestigious cap already, and I believe that is a PhD cap if I'm not mistaken. I wore one a little time ago. So I'm actually going to turn the crown off of this one because that is a crown in and of itself. So I'll turn the crown off, but I don't want you to resize it if you can avoid it. I'd rather you resize the photo because the element that I'm going to teach you all I'm going to do a class after this. It'll be a supplemental class. It's going to teach you how to take the inside of this crown and the word, maybe the word fresh or senior. I think we'll do senior, whichever text is on top, and we'll show you how to stud that out, and Erica will show you how to cut it out on your silhouette and place the stones in the template and apply this on top of your sublimation print. So we're going to do a collaboration with that, just like we're doing a collaboration with Coach Q in the cut and sew. So we're, really excited about all these collaborations. So yeah, we're going to turn that crown off for right now. Now this as is pretty much ready to go if you wanted to go with the Fresh Prince colors. However, we're going to create our own colorway. Now for this one, I believe I even have the logo. So I want to play with placing that logo in the background. So I'm going to open up my background folder, and if I don't know where it is, I can just right click, go to my background, and I have some smart colors going on back there. Now I'm going to lay this image, and it's a JPEG, so I'm going to just cut out the background real quick. You see that it has the white in the background, and I kind of want to play with it inside of the brick so that it's not really the full out logo, but it's an impression of that logo. So for this, I'm going to grab my magic wand. I'm going to sample not contiguous. I'm going to take contiguous off because I wanted to grab every bit of white that's anywhere in this image. I'm going to click the white in the image, and then I'm also going to hold down Shift, which adds to the selection, and select the outside there. That way I can do selected in mask here. Make sure my edges are going to look clean because this might be a very low resolution image, which it probably is. I'll turn on my overlay here. Now we're not going to do this part in class. This part you want to already have done. And let's go ahead and smooth these edges. You see how jagged those edges are? And automatically that made it look a lot better there. Now over smoothing can result in it taking shortcuts around certain areas. And I'm going to feather it just maybe 1 pixel just to soften it up a little bit. Now right now I have the outside meat selected. I want to invert it because I want the inside meat selected. And then I'll hit OK. And let's go ahead and mask that. There we go. And if I want to, I can add like a little bit of a drop shadow or something behind the logo just to kind of make it stand out a little bit. But like I said, this logo is not high quality, so I'm going to end up with some issues there. So that's why I just want to use it as a suggestion of the logo and not the actual logo. You see me increasing the size, and I can also see that it's not clean on these edges here. So I'm going to go with my brush, decrease the size of that, and just clean that on up. As long as I have black selected, black is going to conceal while white reveals. So I'm just cleaning up the excess around that image. Alright, so let's do our color change. Let's say we do want this to showcase the colors of the school. So in this case, we're probably going to do the black and gold. So let's turn on, I have a layer that's just for your swatches. I'm going to turn those on, and let's do our main color as the yellow. So before we even get started, let's collect the colors. Now usually I would collect a color from the logo. However, the logo tends to be a little bit of low resolution, so I'm not going to be that happy with the color selection because I know it's going to vary, but let's see how that turns out. So let's grab our color picker. I'm going to select one of these yellows, and I can kind of shift around. You see how it is varying a little bit? It really, that should be like a solid good yellow, golden yellow. So I'll grab that one there. I'm going to double click right here on the foreground swatch, and I'm going to hit add to swatches here, and I'm just going to call this 1 for color 1, and I'm going to take this off of add to my current library, If you don't take that off, it slows your system down. So that's color number 1. Now color number 2 is black, but I'm going to pick the green and red here just so that I have some additional colors to pick. You probably, if you're doing a school that has only like one pop color and only, you know, the neutral colors like black and white or gray, then you probably won't even be selecting a second or third color. You'll probably go with some neutrals there. Now I'm trying to select this green, but it's a little off. So I'm going to push it to where I want it. I'm going to say that's the green that I want. Let's do add to swatches. I'm going to call that 2 and then take that off, hit OK. And then finally the red is probably going to be a little hard to get as well. It's a little bit of a washed out image, but we're going to work with it. I'm going to pick me a red that doesn't have an exclamation point. You see that exclamation point? Get away from it. And then I'll add that to the swatches, and I'll call that color number 3. Now I can hit OK. If you notice, it placed those 3 colors in my swatches. So now when I go to change out my smart colors, I'm going to call color number 1. Let's make that the yellow. I'll close out of this, hit yes to update. All right, so automatically it updated that yellow there. Second color, let's go with what's going to be touching. Let's make the red touch the yellow. So let's change the pink to red. I'm just duplicating this layer. You all are just going to replace the color, but because I have to end up switching it back, I am just creating a duplicate here. So that's our red, and then the third color will be the green. And all we have to do is just tap on the color in our swatches here. Hit yes to update. All right. This looks so good instantly. So we also have some options in here where you may or may not want to include certain colors in certain areas. But the way that it's set up is to just go as is. As long as you have 3 contrasting colors here, you're going to have some creation instantly. However, this is not the end of it. This is also to teach you. So we're going to be doing some things in class to give you an idea of how you can, like for instance, use a smart color that's in one area. Let's say you don't necessarily like green right there, and maybe you want that area to be red instead. You can alt click and drag your red, turn off the green, and now the area that once was green is now red. So this is how you can take your smart colors and use them in other places. This is also how you can create your own color. Let's say that you want a color that is not in existence in your smart color palette, right? So let's say you wanted to use a gray or black or white or maybe even a pop color of pink. If that's not part of your smart color palette, you can come down here to your adjustment layers, create a solid color or even a gradient. And let's choose something totally different. Let's use purple, just to show you how it can select any color that you want. And now, although it's not a smart color, you can drag and drop it so that it clips down to this image space. And now this color is officially the color that occupies the space. Now, the thing about smart colors is they recolor universally, right? So if you change it in one place, it's going to change it everywhere that you use that smart color. So if you do I'll call it a not so smart color, or let's call it a basic. We'll call it a basic. This is your basic color, not your smart color. So the basic color is not going to change everywhere else that you may want to use this color. So if you happen to use a basic color over and over and over again in your document, you're going to have to change that color out each instance. Smart color, you do not have to do that. Now you can make this a smart color Well, first of all, I like to call it a smart color because it makes me feel better, makes me feel like I invented something. So let's call this smart color 4. And I'm not really feeling this purple, so I'm going to make it maybe this bright green. Okay, so maybe it brightens that up a little bit. So let's call that smart color 4 and right click. We'll convert it to a smart object, and now all of a sudden, with a click, with a right click and another click, we have a smart color. So now this smart color, I can alt click and drag it to an alternate place. So where I had the red in the design before, now I can use my smart color 4. Or maybe I want the smart color to color the word senior. Then I can find the word senior, which is probably just going to be called my script text. That's the drop shadow, that's the actual script text. And then I would drag my newfound smart color, alt click and drag it. If you just drag it, it's just going to move it. If you alt click and drag it, it will make a copy. And I'm going to bring it right underneath that existing green. I'll turn the existing green off, turn my new green on, and that's how I'm able to create another smart color that will automatically update if I so choose to change this color out. So the other thing we're going to do in class is bring this new smart color that we made all the way to the top. It has no layer mask on it right now, so I'm going to alt click and drag the layer mask from color 3, and of course it's in the same space. So I'm going to shift and drag it down. Oops, I was supposed to be dragging down color 4. So let's go to smart color 4. I'm dragging just the layer mask. I'm going to hold down shift as I drag it so that it stays in line with my previous swatches. So now we've gone from a 3 color to a 4 color design. And then of course, wherever I want to use that 4th color, I could apply it in those areas. So I am going to delete that because you all are going to create the 4th color. I'm just showing you what we're going to do in class. And I'm just cleaning this up a little bit so the layer names aren't so incredibly long. Oh, Tim, that is a great question. And Coach Corey answered it perfect. Whenever you see that exclamation point, when you're picking colors, it just means it's a warning telling you that that color is most likely out of your printer's color gamut, meaning that what you see on the screen is probably not what you're going to get. So if you choose a color that may be like that color, but does not have that exclamation point, you're more likely to get that color when it comes to what your printer is capable of, what the output is capable of. So if you see that exclamation point, doesn't mean that it's going to be totally off, but if you hit the exclamation point, it'll try to choose the next best color, which is not always the best choice. So if you manually choose the color, that's going to be your best bet. Great question and great explanation, Coach Corey. Okay, so I'm going to show you a few things you can do here as well. So let's say I don't want a smart color, but like my splatters just might be a little too colorful. You can not have a smart color and just do a simple color fill here that clips down to that layer. And now all 3 of those colors have been all replaced just by white. And what we're doing here is clipping whatever the color or pattern or fill is, we're clipping that to that specific layer. Or in this case, it's a group of several splashes. So if we leave that closed, it won't bother us, but it might be a point in which you want to move one of those splashes around. You can right click, click on one of the splatters and move those splatters around. So sometimes you will need to adjust a little bit depending on the photo that you put in there, or maybe you're doing a mascot or something. It doesn't always have to be a photo. So whatever you're placing there, you may have to do some shifting around, and in that case, all of these elements can be repositioned and resized. However, we're just going to leave them closed off because I think they're good as is. And like I said, I wanted to give you all an understanding of something that you can change in less than 5 minutes, but still has some pretty dynamic capabilities. So I'm liking this. I think I'm going to change my color here. Let's change the text. So right here, I have the script text. And instead of senior, I'm going to double click on senior. And I have a couple of things that I've already typed in here. So let's say I'm going to do fresh queen. I can simply update that text. Or if I wanted to take senior and turn it into something else, I can duplicate that layer. Double click on the T here and I can type in and I'm not sure if this is the correct title here, but like I said, I think I see a PhD cap. I'm gonna go ahead and give credit where it's due. So maybe this one will be fresh doctor. You know, like I said, we got to put some respect on these titles. Now this one is linked to this one. Like I said, these in here get a little messy. So you don't even have to go inside of there. You can just stay right on top of here and you're going to be fine. Just leave these folders blind if you want to. You never have to ever open them. Pretty much, you know, you can just edit these top few layers and you'll be good. However, if you want to do some additional work, which we're going to do in class, we're going to add our own smart color there and that sort of thing, then of course you would open up those layers for that particular result. So for here, I want you to see that you have a smart color that's over this little drop down shadow here. So if you didn't want it to be red and you wanted it to be another color, let's say green, then I can take my smart color that's green, drag and drop it to where it clips to this folder, and then I can turn off my red, and now all of a sudden my drop shadow is green here. And let's say the opposite is true. Let's say doctor, I want it to be red. I can take my red, drag and drop it here, turn on the visibility, and now my text is red. So this is a way that I'm trying to show you, regardless of how simplified the template can be, you can always modify it to make it your own. So I think we're good here. I think I'm missing my green back here on my brick. So I'm going to turn the green back on. There it is. And as far as exporting this, so like I said, we have all these cabinet doors open. I'm going to go ahead and start closing them down because I only want you to open them when we have to. I don't want you to receive it with all these things open like this. So let's go ahead and start closing them down. It makes it so much easier. Like I said, this is a simple to edit template, but it is not a simple made template. So it does have quite a few things going on here. And I'm just closing up these folders and making it a little bit easier to look at. All right, so I'm closing up my background. Closing up some of this script folder here. So now I'm just stuck with my foreground and my background. There's a little something that's bothering me though. Although I have these beautiful accents here, I don't like that it's covering her face. So I'm very much opposed to anything being over people's faces. So I'm going to right click, go to that particular Bling PNG, and I'll just move it around. So you have those included in here as well. And let's say this one looks a little out of place. I'm just right click, dragging on it, and I'll bring it where I want it. All right. And when I export this, make sure that my blings should be in my foreground here. So now when I go to export this, I can right click on the art, quick export as a PNG, and now I have an art-2. And you don't have to worry about these swatches being in the PNG because it's above all of this stuff is above the art folder, it's only going to export what's in that art folder. All right, so I think I have time to do one more edit so I can show you how quick and easy it'll be. I need somebody to give me an example of something that you want to see. Even if it's like a character or something that you would be doing for personal use, I can show you what it would look like, show you how to pick your color theme and that sort of thing. I know it's we got Christmas theme stuff going on. We have birthday parties coming up, celebrations, graduations, sports teams. I know you all will not fail me with a suggestion here. But while I'm waiting on that suggestion, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the mock-up here. As usual, I'm going to give you all my mock-up. So let's see, we're 157. Let's see what we did. We did a 157 mock-up. We did t-shirts there. So I'm going to take this 157 mock-up, do a save as, and I'm going to save it as 158 mock-up. And this is for all of you who wonder, the classes in the beginning, I didn't used to give my mock-up files. However, I started doing that later on in the academy. So if you're still in the beginning phases of the academy, you can take one of the new templates that you have. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see that you're getting some of the new classes unlocked. Take one of those mock-up files and use that to do your beginning classes. So same old thing right here. Now these are all overs. Typically you won't see an airbrush shirt all over, which kind of saves us quite a little bit. But you can still take this all over image here, double click, and I can drag and drop my new artwork right on there. So I go to my 158 folder, and you'll see we have art 1 and 2. So let's do art 1 here. Now I can make it small, pretty much the size of this image here, or I can make it look jumbo print, which is probably going to be pretty popular for this type of airbrush look. Make it look jumbo, and even if you have to, you know, tile maybe 2 13 by 19 pieces to get it to be a jumbo print, then it will still look pretty substantial. Now this is a PNG, so I can't leave this layer underneath. I have to delete it. But once I delete it, I can go ahead and close out of this, hit yes. All right, and this is a little too big. I mean, I guess it looks like it's all over-ish, but I want to bring it down just a little bit in size here. So again, that's still my smart object. I'm just scaling it down a little bit. Let me hit enter to lock in my transformation. Now, it's not to say that you can't use this 13 by 19 design for an all over shirt. You absolutely can. So let me show you that on this next one. Let's see, let's go ahead and change out this one here. Let's drag and drop our artwork number 2 there. Now, of course, you wouldn't make it so big if you did want to portray that it was a 13 by 19, because although, oh, I forgot I have to delete that layer. That's why it gave me that error to save as a different type of file. So as long as I only have a single layer, I'll be able to save this as a PNG. All right, so that's our 13 by 19. That's our jumbo. Let's make this one an all over. You know what? Did I have an image from 157 I didn't get a chance to use? Because you all gave me some great photos for that one too. All right, so let's do something a little bit different. I'm going to take everything that's here. Remember I told you I put everything in an art folder? And let's do the all over version of this. So let me grab a template. I think, which one did we do from scratch? We did 155 from scratch. Now this is the free template that I have online for the 21M and Vapor shirts, just in general. And I told someone I would show them how to fix this too. Someone in the latest workshop that we did in California, in Los Angeles. So let's say that you're using a certain type of shirt where this particular cutout doesn't work for you because the sleeves may fall at a different angle, and sometimes you end up clipping off something down here, or maybe you end up with white at the top of your shirt because the contour of your shirt doesn't necessarily follow the contour of this shirt. Well, that's very simple. I'm going to show you what to do in that case. So we're going to do a couple of things here. One, we're going to go ahead and take our 13 by 19 art, this art folder, and I'm going to pull my mock-up off just a moment so we can actually really focus on this. I'll take the art, I'm going to drag, literally pick it up and drag it, drop it right here on my all over shirt, and you see the size of it looks very comparable. It looks like a 13 by 19 based on this big 3X shirt here. Let's do Control-0, zoom in a little bit. I'm going to turn on my guidelines here, and then I'm going to make sure that my image falls within the guidelines here. Now, of course, I can make this bigger, but the first thing I want to do is add some type of background here. And instead of a regular solid color, y'all know me, I'm going to go with a gradient. And let's see, that's a pretty cool color gradient there. Just 3 colors in there. So let's see, what did you all suggest as a topic so I can make this? Taz? Okay, I have not done Taz. Let's look up an image of Taz. Images. And you want to find something high resolution, so I go up here to Tools, Size, and Large. That way I don't get any really pixelated images. Let's see. As far as colors go for Taz, I think I can do whatever colors I want because Taz is pretty neutral. So I'm going to take this one here. Now I have to make sure this is really transparent. The way I do it is right click, open that image in a new tab, and if it still had the checkerboard behind it, then I know it's not truly a PNG. This looks like a very high resolution PNG for online, so I'm going to save that. Let's just call it cartoon. All right, now that I have that saved, these are all still respective smart objects. So even though I pulled this entire art group over onto my all over setup now, these are all still smart objects. Now what I didn't bring over were my swatches, but I could have just as easily, brought the swatches over too. Now I can't bring them over because I would have to bring the swatches over with the art at the same time. So let's go ahead and try out this theory. Let's right click, let's go to the photo, and let's go ahead and drag and drop our Taz in there. So I'm going to my 158 folder. Now this is what you should already have prepared before class. So make sure you have your subject image and whatever theme you want to work with. I'm going to drag it down just a little bit to make sure I'm not clipping anything off. I'll turn off the visibility on the previous layer. Hit yes to update. All right, and in this case, I'm going to make Taz a little bit bigger. And let's say I want to change the word fresh, I can absolutely do that as well. Now, it's bothering me just a little bit because I want my art to be bigger. I want it to look more substantial. So I'm going to click on the art folder here, and I'm going to go ahead and just scale it up a bit. Now, what I'm being sure of, or making sure of, is that I'm not having any particular text or images that I don't want cut off. I'm not having any of that go outside of this dotted line. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off my guides. View, show, turn off those guides so that you can see the dotted line there. Although your text may touch that area, you definitely don't want it to go outside of that area. So that is good right there. I'm hitting enter to lock in that transformation. It may take a little bit of time because it's rasterizing all of those smart objects. So everything still looks good here. And I want to change this to my new colorway that I have here. So although I don't have my swatches here, the beauty of a smart color is if it's in one place, that can be changed. It can be changed in every other instance of that smart object. So let's say for smart color 2, let's go ahead and make a new color palette. I'm going to click down here in the darker blue, grab that color, add that to my swatches, and just call that 1. You'll see it drop down there in my swatches. Then I'm going to grab the second color, maybe this teal here. See that exclamation point? If I click on it, it selects the next safest color there. So I'm going to add that to swatches and call that 2. And then this bright green color, I'm going to grab from up here. See that exclamation point? Now this one is going to give me a kind of muddy color, but that's just the best it can pick. Now I have found with my Pro Ink, with the True Colors Pro Ink and the large format printer, that I can achieve a lot of these colors that says it's out of color gamut. I can really achieve those really bold, bright colors. So I'm going to keep that bright green. But if you're doing desktop printing, more than likely you want to adjust it until you get to something that's more reliable. So although you may have this color on your screen, you just don't know whether it's actually going to print that color. All right, oops, I forgot to save that as a swatch. So add the swatches, that'll be swatch number 3. Okay, so I'm done now. Those 3 swatches appear right here. So now I'll take this red and I'll make it, let's make it the dark blue color. So real quick, I'm just changing out my smart colors. You see how it changed that red immediately to the dark blue? That green, I'll change to this teal color, or more of a turquoise. And then, let's see, the yellow here. If I don't know where a smart color is, I can always click on something with that smart color, and look, I can find smart color 1, double click on that, and I'll make that one green. And of course, there's that logo in the background, so I'll take that logo and turn that off. And now we have a brand new design. Really simple, going from the 13 by 19 to the all over. I didn't overcomplicate it. Let's see here. I really don't like solid colors. Y'all know I like to add grunge or something like that. Let me show you how to add some grunge to the background. Let's just look up a grunge background. Look up a grunge background. Look for something large. Tools. Oh, I have to be in images, duh. Then I go to Tools, Size, and Large. look for something that doesn't have watermarks in it or anything. This one looks cool. This says free vectors, but I guarantee you it's got a catch to it. But hey, let's check it out and see. I'm going to right click and open image in a new tab, see how large it is. That was interesting. It wants me to save it. So hopefully, if you're saving this, you got some good antivirus on your computer, because these images are a great way to get messed up. Oh no, that's a cool one that kind of looks like spray painted. But I really don't like those edges there, and it doesn't look like that's really high resolution. We shall see. If I go to open the image in a new tab, you see how small that is? That's really not large format at all. Open image in a new tab. This one isn't either. I suppose they want you to download it because it's vector. If it's vector, then that means that it does not pixelate as it gets larger. I just don't believe in downloading these things from these sites. So the JPEG I'm okay with, but the actual file that it looks like it wants me to download, I don't want to click on that. So what I'm going to do is go to my very back or very bottom layer here, and let's just drag and drop that in there. Now I would recommend that you have a subscription to some of the vector based and also just PNG source images that just give you a little more to choose from here. So I'm going to place that right above my gradient, and it's not horrible. We're just using it for accent, but that is not a print quality I would want to use. However, the idea is that I show you how you can bring something in and implement it. So let's go to our different blend modes. This is where you want to play with blend modes. Lighting actually looks really cool. Screen does too. Multiply looks good too if you want more of the black there. And then we can also play with the opacity here. I think that's what I'm going to do, because I like, if I'm going to all over print a shirt, like, I'm kind of against white at that point in time. However, when we use the lightening screen on full opacity, it did look pretty cool. But I think I'm going to go with this. 25% opacity gives us a little bit of texture there. So if you have a little bit of a mess up, it's not so prevalent because you are using texture in the background. It's not just a flat color. All right, so that's how we would bring it into an all over. Let me go ahead and turn off. Oh, this is what I'm going to do. Bring that art below this layer. So let's say that the sleeves aren't quite working for you and you want to do what I call the box sleeves. Then I would just come here, select all of this, go a little bit lower than the existing sleeve so I make sure that I'm giving myself enough room. Now you're going to waste a little bit more ink here in the white areas, but you're going to be safer as far as making sure that a 3X and even a 4X can fit on here if you do it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this layer off. Well, not yet. Let me go ahead and select the box for this direction as well. So I'm going to go to my addition selection, or just hold down the shift. If I hold down shift, it also turns into the addition selection. And I'm going to come down here and add to this. There we go. So now I have literally a T selection here. I can go to my full artboard, which in this case, I'm going to go ahead and drag my background layers here to my background. And in order for multiply to work, I'll need the need a background on there. So just a white background. I'm just bringing that back up to the top. Just bring my splatter is on there. Background is on. And then I'm going to create just a solid background layer. And I'll give y'all this file, but I'm just letting you know how it's done. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I was supposed to show you what I did with this selection. So this selection, I'm going to take, because it has the marching ants, just create a layer mask here, and it will automatically clip everything here. And we'll see that once I turn on the background. So because this went into my bricks mask layer, you can't see it. So what I have to do is drag it outside of this layer. This is my easiest way to do it. Just drag it on top of the layer that it keeps getting trapped in. And then bring that layer above. Because sometimes if you're trying to put something above a folder or below a folder and there's nothing else above or below it, it tends to drop it inside of that folder. So then we have an option here to pull it outside of there. Now, of course, it's actually still within this folder. So I need to drag it out of there. And then bring this above here. There we go. So now if I want to print this, and it's a lot more safe for up to a 4x, I have this kind of block style rather than the traditional contour that I usually use. All right, so this one's ready to print, and if I'm ready to send this to my mock-up layer, then I'm going to disable that. I want it to look like a big old wallpaper here, and I'm going to go on my art layer, right-click, quick export as a PNG, and now this will be art-3, and I want to save that to my 158 folder. And I didn't change the text, but you all get that part. And bring my mock-up back. Right click on this one. Double click on the smart object. And now I will drag and drop. Uh-oh, I was dragging and dropping the wrong thing. Art3 onto this artboard. Make it a little bit bigger so it fits. Hit enter to lock in that transformation. And of course I have to delete the layer underneath it. Now I can hit yes to save these changes, and it should update to my mockup file magically. Well, not really magically, but same idea. All right, so now Taz is updated in there. So we see this as a jumbo print, a 13 by 19 and an all over. So I hope you all are going to have fun with this and make some magic happen. I'm going to go ahead and save these things and upload it to the Innate Academy site. Class will begin tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For those of you who are the VIP members, make sure that you use your coupon code so that your class is free tonight. If you are a standard member, make sure you use your coupon code to get 67% off of the live class. And just, you know, as usual, these classes do automatically unlock depending on how long you've been in the academy. So if you wait, everything's free. It will eventually unlock for you. But if you can't wait for a class and you want early access to it, then you can use your coupon code to unlock the class as soon as it is available. And for those of you who don't even like the classes and just want the templates, you're able to access the courses either purchasing them a la carte if you just want one or 2 classes at a time type of thing, or if you have your membership, please make sure you use your coupon code. It is a significant savings, okay? All right, so let me just go ahead and finish updating this, and I'll check and see if y'all have any questions for me while I'm updating these little things here. So this is going to be, what, are we on 158 already? All right, so 158, let's change those colors. Let's do the green to the purple. Purple didn't grab to where. There we go. Yeah, I like that green and purple. And then I'm going to change my effects on the bullet points. Let's do the pink. Alright, so yes, this will be a smart color change. We're not going to create a random pattern on this one. We are creating a smart color. Yes, we're adding text. You get the free mockup and you can add your own image. So all that is cool. And you get the fresh font in there as well. So let me show you how we would change that out. So even with the fresh, it is editable. So let's say if you wanted to say birthday king or anything like that, you can put B-Day on one and then king or queen on the other. Let's say for this one, let's do birthday king. So we'll put birthday. I'll update that. So B-Day, and then instead of doctor, I'm going to right click on this text and we'll change it to let's do queen. Alright, so birthday queen, and maybe it's still a Taz theme. And let's say you want to bring the crown back in that sense. Let's grab the crown from here. And then all we'll do is move our crown to where it fits on Taz's head. Boom, there it goes. And now again, we could go ahead and export all of this artwork. Quick export as PNG. I'm going to save over the previous one, so I can just click on it. It'll save it as the same name. And then I'm going to make sure that I save this for you all as 158. Now we'll have to take Taz out of there because y'all know how I do. So if you want anything in there for personal use, make sure that you just follow along and place whatever you want to place in there. Now, I'm not going to give you the all over file for class because we're working strictly off the 13 by 19, but I will, once the class is done, I will upload the all over and the mock-up for you, okay? So you will have access to these files that I'm creating right here. All right, so let's go ahead and update this mock-up now. And now it says B-Day Queen. I have to get rid of the background layer. Hit yes to save, and let's see if that updates. There we go. Now B-Day Queen is updated. Need to move this little neckline. It was bothering me a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna save these, get these uploaded. Like I said, all you have to have for class today is a subject image and a theme. So if your theme colors are, wedding, graduation, a birthday, a team, whatever you want to have as your theme, just make sure that you have that in mind. And if you have a logo or something, you can also bring the logo in like I did before and pick colors from that logo. In addition to that, just make sure that you have your subject image. Make sure that you install the fonts that are required for class, and that way you won't have any issues with your shirt not looking like the template file because you don't have a certain font installed. So I want you all to get good and quick with this, and I am hoping, and I know that you can, change these out in 5 minutes or less. All right, loves, let me check and see if y'all had any questions for me. Yes, Tim, you can go ahead and update your payment information and then make sure that you email us to let us know that you updated payment information, and I can manually push through, but you have to actually change the card information. All right, and if y'all need help, make sure that you contact Erica Kane and Facebook group Innate Creatives, and or you can also email us at innatelabstaff@gmail.com. So let me go ahead and put that in the notes here. There you go. And I'll go ahead and get this uploaded for you all. Keep in mind, this is not just for t-shirts. I can see you all using this on a whole slew of things. So I want you all to be creative and start showing off your work, okay? Especially in the Innate Creatives group. I've been seeing your work and I am ecstatic. You all are definitely knocking the ball out of the park with every time that y'all are not only just doing a class, but even doing these projects on your own at home, doing these for your business purpose. I'm really interested in how you're using these and how they're able to help you and how I can make these even better in the future, okay? So I'm listening to you all. Y'all said y'all wanted quick designs that you can change on demand. Keep giving me what it is that you want to see, and I promise I'm listening, and if it's something I can implement or something that enough people want to implement, then I am definitely taking heed to those suggestions. All right, y'all. I appreciate you and I love you dearly. You know what it is. Until next time, bye.